I've looked at what most men over 50 are told about prostate health, and I've noticed something. The advice almost always focuses on one single nutrient while completely ignoring two others that actually make it work. Today, I want to walk you through the full sequence, the 3 specific nutrients your prostate needs, ranked in the right order. And I want to warn you right now, if you get the form of the number 1 nutrient wrong, it won't do a thing for you. You've probably been told that a weak stream or getting up at night is just part of being a man your age. Maybe you've even accepted that as your new normal. But what if that discomfort isn't just aging? What if it's your prostate quietly asking for nutrients it hasn't been getting? A calm, comfortable urinary flow depends on more than just the size of your prostate. It depends on a sequence of nutritional signals that most men never hear about. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 3 nutrients matter most and how to get them in the right form. You'll also understand the simple daily plan that puts them to work, and I'll point out the one form mistake that can make even the best nutrient completely useless. This topic is often reduced to one oversimplified idea. Take this herb, you'll be fine. That's not how your body works, and I think you deserve a clearer explanation. I know you may have already tried a few things. You might even have a bottle in your cabinet that didn't do what you hoped. You're not alone in that, and it's not your fault. If you've ever felt the advice out there was incomplete, tap like. It helps other men find this information, and drop a quick comment below. What's the one urinary symptom that bothers you most? For a lot of guys, it's the nighttime waking. For others, it's that hesitation when you're standing there waiting for the stream to start. I want to know because it tells me what to dive deeper into in future videos. Your prostate gland is surrounded by a ring of smooth muscle that controls the release of urine. When that muscle is relaxed and the surrounding tissue is calm, your stream feels natural, strong, and complete. But when the tissue becomes chronically irritated, even slightly, that muscle tightens up. You feel urgency even when your bladder isn't full. Your stream hesitates, starts and stops, and never feels quite finished. This irritation doesn't come from nowhere. For many men, it's driven by a slow, silent buildup of inflammatory signals deep in the prostate tissue. These signals, called cytokines, disrupt normal cell function and trigger that muscle ring to contract more often than it should. That chronic inflammation actively depletes the nutrients your prostate cells need to function properly. The result is a stream that sputters instead of flowing freely. One of the first casualties is zinc, the mineral your prostate concentrates more than any other part of your body. When zinc levels drop, the tissue loses its natural defense. The cycle of irritation and tightness just keeps repeating. Restoring zinc is key because it helps that muscle relax and allows the prostate tissue to begin repairing itself. You've probably been told this is just benign prostate enlargement and there's not much you can do. That's only part of the story. Addressing the size doesn't always fix the irritation or the nutrient loss. What can make a real difference is giving your prostate the exact sequence of nutrients it uses to stay calm, well-nourished, and functionally comfortable. It's not about shrinking anything. It's about restoring the environment your prostate needs to function comfortably. That's the 3-tier protocol we're about to walk through. The first layer isn't a pill. It's a food compound that actively accumulates in your prostate and helps quiet that low-grade inflammation. It's called Lycopene, and you get it from cooked tomatoes. Think of it as your foundational defender. It's the starting point, the base you build on. But it's not a complete solution on its own, which is why I give it a 6 out of 10. Lycopene is one of the few plant compounds that your body delivers straight to the prostate. When you eat tomatoes that have been cooked, especially with a little olive oil or another healthy fat, your gut absorbs significantly more lycopene than from raw tomatoes. Once absorbed, it travels through your bloodstream and concentrates right in the prostate tissue. There, it helps neutralize free radicals and dampen those inflammatory signals that keep the tissue irritated. You won't feel a sudden jolt of relief, but over weeks of regular intake, many men notice their bladder feels a little less urgent, a little calmer. The studies on lycopene and prostate health are largely observational, but the pattern is consistent enough that researchers consider it an important protective factor. The limitation is that lycopene mostly acts as a protective buffer. It helps calm the fire, but it doesn't rebuild what's been lost or directly improve the mechanics of your flow. You need the next tier to actually replenish what your prostate is missing. If you want to go beyond calming the tissue and actually replenish what your prostate cells are starving for, you need the activators. That brings us to the pair of nutrients sitting at number 2 on our list. And if you're taking a certain popular immune supplement, you might accidentally be making things worse without even realizing it. The activators are zinc and pumpkin seed oil. Zinc is the mineral your prostate is literally built to hold on to. Healthy prostate tissue contains many times more zinc than any other soft tissue in the male body. It's essential for the normal function of the epithelial cells that line the gland. When chronic inflammation depletes zinc, the tissue environment shifts in a way that favors ongoing irritation. Restoring adequate zinc status is a critical step. Pumpkin seed oil adds another powerful layer of support. Several clinical trials have shown that men taking pumpkin seed oil report fewer nighttime bathroom trips and a greater sense of bladder comfort. The oil contains a unique combination of fatty acids and plant sterols, including delta-7 sterols that help calm bladder muscle activity. In more than one study, participants noticed a meaningful drop in nighttime waking, sometimes by 1 or 2 fewer trips. Together, zinc and pumpkin seed oil are the builders that help restore what the irritated prostate has lost. But there's a hidden catch here. Many men over 50 take zinc supplements every day to support their immune system. What they're rarely told is that zinc and copper compete for absorption in the gut. When you take high-dose zinc without balancing it with copper, you can accidentally create a copper deficit. Over time, that imbalance can backfire and contribute to oxidative stress in tissues, including the prostate. The solution isn't to avoid zinc. It's to get it from whole food sources like pumpkin seeds, chickpeas, and oysters when you can, and to make sure any supplement you take includes a balanced ratio of copper. I rate these activators an 8 out of 10 because they're crucial for rebuilding the tissue environment, but they still need one more piece to fully support your flow. Even with a calm, well-nourished prostate, your stream might still feel weak or hesitant if the signaling pathway that relaxes the smooth muscle isn't working properly. That's where the number 1 nutrient comes in, and it's the one most commonly ruined by cheap supplement forms. If you've ever taken a prostate pill and felt nothing, this next part will likely explain exactly why. This brings us to the number 1 nutrient on our list, the compound that directly supports the signaling pathway for a strong, comfortable flow. It's called beta-sitosterol, and if you take nothing else from this video, pay close attention to the form you buy. Getting the wrong extract is the single biggest reason men try a prostate supplement and feel absolutely nothing. Beta-sitosterol is a plant sterol found naturally in foods like avocados, nuts, and pumpkin seeds, but the amounts in food are quite small. Concentrated extracts have been tested in quite a few clinical trials, and the results are pretty clear. Men who took a properly standardized beta-sitosterol supplement consistently reported improvements in their urinary symptom scores, sometimes by several points on the standard scale, and a measurable increase in their peak flow rate. In practical terms, they described a stream that started more easily, felt more complete, and gave them back a sense of normal control. Beta-sitosterol's molecular structure is very similar to cholesterol, which means it can slip into prostate cell membranes and influence how those cells react to growth signals. Researchers also believe it helps modulate the production of local prostaglandins, the hormone-like compounds that control whether the smooth muscle around your urethra tightens or relaxes. By supporting a healthier balance of these signals, beta-sitosterol encourages that muscle ring to stay relaxed, so your stream can flow more freely. Beta-sitosterol doesn't work through a single switch. It also appears to gently modulate the local hormonal environment, dialing back the tissue's tendency to overreact to normal, age-related changes. That's why you won't feel a sudden jolt, but over months, the cumulative shift can be genuinely meaningful. And when you compare it to the mixed evidence behind many other popular prostate ingredients, the data for properly standardized beta-sitosterol stands out as remarkably consistent. This isn't an overnight transformation. The studies typically ran for several months before the full benefit was observed. But the pattern is clear enough that many doctors in Europe turn to beta-sitosterol as a first-line natural option before moving to stronger interventions. Now, Here's the part that probably explains your past experience if you've ever tried a prostate pill. The cheap, mass-market supplements almost always use a low-potency extract with no meaningful standardization. The label might say beta-sitosterol on the front, but when you check the actual amount, it's often a tiny fraction of the dose used in the research. When you're looking at a supplement label, don't just check that beta-sitosterol is listed somewhere in the ingredients. Look for a clear statement of standardization, ideally showing 45% or higher beta-sitosterol content, with a total daily dose of at least 60 milligrams. If the label only mentions a proprietary blend without breaking down the exact amount of each ingredient, you're probably not getting the dose the research supports. This single detail is what separates the products that can actually make a difference from the ones that just take up space in your cabinet. That's why I rate this nutrient a 10 out of 10. It directly supports the mechanical side of your flow, but only when it's delivered in a form your body can actually use. If your current prostate supplement doesn't clearly state the percentage or the exact milligram amount of beta-sitosterol, you may be taking something that was never strong enough to help in the first place. What I want you to see is how these three pieces actually depend on each other. Lycopene from cooked tomatoes helps quiet the inflammatory noise that keeps your prostate tissue irritated and depleted. That calmer environment allows zinc and pumpkin seed oil to restore the cellular resources your prostate has been missing, which is why I place the activators right in the middle. And once the tissue is calmer and better nourished, the beta-sitosterol has the right conditions to do its most important work, supporting the smooth muscle signals that let your stream flow freely and completely. If you skip straight to beta-sitosterol without the foundation, you're asking a powerful compound to work in an inflamed, depleted environment that can't fully respond to it. The sequence matters as much as the nutrients themselves. That's what most quick-fix prostate advice completely ignores. And it's exactly why men who chase a single ingredient often end up frustrated and give up. Calm the tissue first, restore the nutrients second, then support the flow signal. That sequence is the difference between guessing and actually giving your body what it needs. Even if you go out today and find the right beta-sitosterol supplement, you can still completely waste your time and money if you make a few common daily mistakes. Mistake number 1 is grabbing the cheapest bottle on the shelf. Prostate health is not the place to save a few dollars on an unstandardized blend that gives you a little bit of everything, but not enough of anything. You want a product that tells you exactly how much beta-sitosterol is in each capsule. Mistake number 2 involves your daily zinc intake. Many men in this age group take a separate zinc tablet every morning, often a high-dose one, without balancing it with copper. Over time, that habit can quietly deplete your copper levels and actually contribute to oxidative stress in the prostate tissue itself. Zinc is still essential for prostate health. The key is balance, not avoidance. If you take zinc, check the label for copper, or make sure you're getting copper from foods like cashews and sunflower seeds throughout the week. Mistake number 3 is having an unrealistic timeline and quitting right before the results would have appeared. Your prostate tissue didn't become irritated in a week, and it won't fully calm down in a week either. Anti-inflammatory effects may start within the first couple of weeks, but the real improvement in flow strength and nighttime waking often takes 2 to 3 months of daily consistency. If you stop after 2 weeks because you don't feel a dramatic shift, you're walking away right before the work starts paying off. Mistake number 4 is ignoring how your current medications might be affecting your urinary patterns. Certain common antihistamines can cause the bladder neck to tighten, making your stream feel weaker. Diuretics, often prescribed for blood pressure, can increase nighttime urination regardless of your prostate health. I'm not suggesting you stop any prescription. You need to talk to your doctor if you suspect a medication is contributing to your symptoms. But having that conversation is a responsible step that too many men skip. Finally, while a weak stream and nightly bathroom trips are frustrating, some symptoms are not something to manage with food and supplements. If you ever notice blood in your urine, a sudden inability to urinate at all, or severe pain, do not wait. Seek medical help immediately. Those are not signs of a simple nutrient gap. So, how do you actually put all of this together into a daily routine that feels simple and sustainable? I want to give you a clear plan you can start tomorrow morning. Your morning begins with your ultimate engine, beta-sitosterol. Take it as directed on the label, ideally with a small glass of water before your coffee or breakfast. A standardized extract is what you're looking for, and taking it first thing means you won't forget later when the day gets busy. In the afternoon, focus on your activators. You don't necessarily need more pills for this. Add a small handful of pumpkin seeds to your lunch or as a snack, or include chickpeas and oysters in your meals a few times a week. This simple habit supports your zinc levels naturally while providing the copper your body needs to stay in balance. For your weekly rotation, build your foundational defender into your dinners. 3 or 4 nights a week, make a meal that includes cooked tomatoes with a drizzle of olive oil or a side of sliced avocado, since the healthy fat helps your body absorb significantly more lycopene. A simple tomato sauce, a roasted tomato soup, or even tomatoes added to a stir-fry all work beautifully. This keeps a steady supply of lycopene reaching your prostate tissue without requiring any complicated meal planning. You can even weave lycopene into your breakfast. Try adding a spoonful of tomato paste to scrambled eggs with a little olive oil, or enjoy a small glass of reduced sodium tomato juice alongside your morning meal. These small additions keep the lycopene supply consistent without much extra effort. Because beta-sitosterol and the anti-inflammatory nutrients start working internally before you feel them externally, your first signals may be subtle. Within the first 1 to 2 weeks, some men notice the sense of urgency softens a little. You might still get up at night, but that frantic, can't-wait feeling becomes less intense. Within the first month, your new routine becomes second nature, and your prostate tissue is being actively supported every single day. For many men, this is when they realize they're thinking about their bladder less often during the day. By around week 6, many men find that the hesitant, stop-start quality of their stream has become noticeably less frequent. It might not be perfect every time, but the trend is heading in the right direction. This is a strong signal to keep going because the deeper tissue recalibration is still underway. The real flow improvements, a stream that starts more easily and empties more completely, tend to appear around the 2 to 3 month mark if you remain consistent. Your smooth muscle tissue needs time to recalibrate its response to the improved signaling environment. Give your body at least 3 months before you make any final judgment. Patience is genuinely part of the protocol. You're not broken, and your body isn't betraying you. That weak stream or those nighttime trips are often your body's way of communicating that something it needs has been missing from your daily routine. You're now equipped to listen and respond with the right sequence of support. I want to invite you to a 30-day challenge so you can see for yourself whether this protocol makes a difference. Get a small notebook or use a notes app on your phone. Every morning for the next 30 days, write down 3 numbers. Number 1, how many times you woke up to urinate the night before. Number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, your worst urgency rating from the previous day. Number 3, on the same 1 to 10 scale, how comfortable your very first morning stream felt. Don't obsess over daily fluctuations. At the end of 30 days, compare your first week's averages to your 4th week's averages. Many men are surprised to see that the nighttime number has quietly dropped by 1 or 2, and the urgency score has softened even before the flow itself changes dramatically. That small shift is your body telling you it's responding. If this video gave you a clearer map than the scattered advice you've encountered before, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We release a practical, research-backed breakdown like this every week, always focused on giving adults over 50 the honest, nutrient-first strategies they actually need. Share this with a friend who's been frustrated by the same cycle of hope and disappointment with prostate pills. Comment below and tell me if you're starting the 30-day challenge. I read those comments and they genuinely help me decide which topics to cover next. As a final reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting a new supplement or making major changes to your routine, especially if you take prescription medications. Your comfort, your sleep, and your peace of mind matter. You deserve to feel at ease in your own body. Stay consistent, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.